Good morning, Malcolm Nance, on a good day for democracy. Hello.
It is a good day for democracy. Any day that I can slap the cheese head off of Elon Musk is a good day. Knock that cheese wedge right off of him, you smug mug. 25 million bucks
Yep.
with a match.
Yeah. I'd like to report some waste, fraud, and abuse, please, in Wisconsin. Um,
Ah,
so, Malcolm, that was John Bolton we played.
yes, well,
Russia has stated it cannot accept Trump's peace plan for Ukraine. We'll see in the coming hours how the Trump regime tries to frame this as Ukraine's fault. I mean, to Bolton's point, Trump does just repeat Russian propaganda, as you've told us a million times. But I saved a bunch of tweets for you. This one, Timothy
mhm,
says Putin's 3-day war. Remember when he said it would be 3 days? Is not
mhm.
is going so well. He's calling up another 160,000 troops, getting 3,000 more North Koreans as well. His navy's decimated. His armored forces are quickly disappearing. His air force is all but neutered. He has to use crappy drones from Iran because his country can't make enough of their own. And someone tried to blow him up. So, you know. He does not hold. What did Trump say to what do you call it, Zelensky? You don't have any cards. We hold all the cards. That's actually
Yeah,
not the case, is it?
no, it's not the case. And that's because Bolton is absolutely right. Trump, Vance, that entire cabinet live in an alternate universe. Even that nut Tulsi Gabbard, who has access to every bit of intelligence from U.S. intelligence, Ukrainian intelligence, some instances Russian intelligence itself that is being sold or intercepted by us. They don't believe any of it. They don't believe a word of it. They believe whatever they think is happening. And what they think is happening is being put into their heads by Vladimir Putin. And Witkoff, who is just, these people are all idiots from the real estate world, where they think that if you drive a flashy car and you can sell, a place at an incredible profit, then that makes you smart.
Yeah.
And in this world, Putin, as a former KGB manipulator, a human intelligence officer, he's just laughing in his teeth like these people aren't even a challenge. He had better challenges from West German 17-year-old kids crossing to the east. These people believe whatever they are told to believe because remember, the objective here is billions upon billions upon billions of untapped Russian oligarch money.
Yeah. Well, saved another one for you. Per Anka News Service, thousands of Russians are leaving the country in mass exodus. The economy is tanked. Companies are closing. The people do
Yes.
not support the war with Ukraine. Russian soldiers are fighting with old equipment, lack of food, non existent
Well,
medical supplies. They're deserting or surrendering. Putin is desperately trying to contain the issue, but it's become too massive to control. He's losing on all fronts. I mean, any day that's a bad day for Trump,
Yeah.
Musk, and Putin, it's a good day for the world, right?
well, only in the sense that we have gotten some breaks on this out of control machine, elephant, so to speak, that's happening. I mean, those Florida districts lost 20 points.
Yeah.
We didn't win them, but let me tell you, if that trend, I believe, if that, was it Bob Cheska who was on earlier?
Yeah.
If that trend continues, that means every marginal district in America that was 20-point loss or win, we're going to win that
Yeah.
if there's a 2026 election. And we cannot rely on that. The only thing we can rely on is our own people power to drive Trump, Musk, Vance, and Putin absolutely crazy.
Well, you retweeted multiple polling places across Milwaukee now running low or run out of ballots as turnout is at record levels. That's what we got to keep up. You retweeted Florida fought tough races, closed the gap in red districts by 20 points. Let's keep up that momentum. This Saturday, 4-5, we all need to show up at peaceful protest, show the fascists in the world we will not comply. You know, everything yesterday from town halls to Cory Booker, right? You
Yep.
retweeted "Be Booker Strong."
Yeah.
Is just got people. I think what Cory Booker did, he gave people hope, right? Like that's
Yeah.
one of the things we need, and to know that elections still matter. I mean, like I was saying, for those of us that have some, concerns about swing states and voting in 2024, at least we go, wow, they spent 25 million in Wisconsin, they still lost, right?
Right. And done it in such a way that they couldn't cheat. Right. The
Right.
margins weren't that close. I mean, the thing about Cory Booker, let me touch back on this. is that it's not just that he gave hope, is that he used as a leader in the opposition. Booker is not the resistance. We are the resistance. He is the opposition. He is an elected official who has to use the processes. But I'll tell you something. He was already into hour 18 before I heard anywhere in the media that he was even speaking.
Yeah.
And that he was in a filibuster. And I'm sorry, I watched that thing right to the last minute. The word filibuster was not used.
Yeah.
Cory Booker was giving an exceptionally long speech. Well, recall how we had the giant debate about filibusters. Should we keep them? Should we not? And how you had to actually use them. We did it, and the news media, which I was a part of for 7 years, really ignored it until the last few minutes. And it's like Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
Yeah.
Till he's on the verge of passing out and gets the letters from the Boy Scouts, and the guy shoots himself. No one paid attention. It was all a show.
But Malcolm, one of the things that's worked against us, I think is working for us now, is social media. We were talking about how many views it got on TikTok, and so look at that and look at what happened in Wisconsin. You're right. We're sort of overcoming the media. He spent how many millions of dollars on ads and media in Wisconsin, and people in Wisconsin roundly said "F you" and your money.
Right.
So, and then by the way, today you retweeted Tristan Snell said Trump is raising your taxes 25%, raising your cost of living by 25% or more, unless he cuts some other quote unquote deal to delay it a month at the last minute, like some cheap publicity stunt for TV ratings. I mean, this is what's happening. The world has called his bluff. I think that's what he thinks, is he wants people to call and grovel and make a deal, and Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, you mentioned early on that, he was calling it that fake analogy, Liberation Day. It's not. From this moment on, every one of you will say, this is Trump tax day, 25%. You have to also play this game in order to defeat their meta-narratives, which is something I teach you at least once a month. Meta-narrative is the big frame around the story. Right. If you use their words, we lose. You have to use Stephanie's words.
Thank you.
Or you have to use Bob's words and go out there and speak about this properly. He will back down. Those tariffs were on virtually every country in the world. The entire European Union, right? I mean, from wines in Italy to cheese from Denmark. Oh, actually, don't forget, Ozempic comes from Denmark, right? So a lot of people are going to be very upset about this. But all of those things are going to go up 25%. For the American paying public. You got a 25% tax. Get on social media and mock MAGA for that, because he's going to back down when Wall Street tanks today.
Yep. Well, by the way, this was where a White House staffer claims.
Oh, by the way, then call him a loser.
There you go. Loser. A White House staffer claims Trump was bluffing all along about the tariffs to convince a bunch of countries to give him easy concessions to take credit for. But because the whole world called his bluff, he now has to save face by imploding the stock market today. I mean, this is where we are, right? He is such a buffoon. And even people from Fox News to CNBC to Wall Street Journal are saying it now, right?
If we have learned anything, ladies and gentlemen, it is this. Don't believe anyone in the White House who anonymously comes out and tells you what Trump means. We have learned these people are just as big as pathological liars as Donald Trump. They sit around and they game this thing. Trump really means these tariffs because he's an idiot. He doesn't know what tariffs are. He really, truly, and deep in his heart believes that tariffs hurt other countries, while other countries are laughing their way to the bank and raising 25% on products which probably won't come down again. Right? U.S. importers are slapping the Trump tax onto the American public, but not in Trump's world. They're out there talking about replacing the income tax with tariffs. Really? I mean, geez, the Great Depression will be the greatest depression. It'll be the MAGA depression when Trump is finished with them. But don't believe anything that comes out of those people's mouths. They're just liars.
You retweeted Dr. Brown, who said, fact, you don't destroy the CDC unless you want people to die in large numbers. And Malcolm, I think it's personal for all of us, but this one, as you know, my mom died of Alzheimer's about a couple years ago. Trump just ended a government program in its entirety. It was called the Healthy Aging Program at the CDC. It was home to all of the government's Alzheimer's programs. I mean, this is, I don't even know what more to say about what he is doing, and the fact that it seems deliberate.
It is. Oh, stop. You use those terms again. It is deliberate.
Right.
It doesn't seem nothing. He is literally, functionally dismantling the government. Elon Musk intends to replace all of these agencies with an automatic computer system. He's getting rid of everything that was ever developed in government. Just start believing this. I believe it was Martin O'Malley, former Social Security Administrator, former governor of Maryland, said 90% of the Social Security Administration as it existed is gone. And then all that's left is the computer systems. And now that they've got rid of all the corporate knowledge there, it's going to start to glitch.
Yep.
And when it glitches, it's going to glitch hard. Health and Human Services, the Center for Disease Freaking Control, which is responsible for massive outbreaks that kill people. It's all going away. And I'm telling you, there's only one thing we should be demanding here. One thing when we start doing our own Project 2026, right? We should demand restoration of government.
Yeah.
Everything goes back. Musk gets kicked out of government forever. Every building is released. It's going to cost us $1 trillion extra to put everything back. Everyone will be rehired and back paid, just like he's doing with the January 6 people.
Aye.
The entire corporate knowledge of American government must be put back. It's the only way to counteract this. And if we don't demand it at our protests, we're screwed.
Let's end on your specialty, national. I'm just trying to picture your head when you read, breaking from the Washington Post, members of Trump's National Security Council, including National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, have conducted government business over personal Gmail accounts, according to documents.
Oh, God.
So it's not just Signal, which now there are multiple. Of course, it wasn't just the one Signal chat, we've now learned, and in addition, their Gmail accounts. Please, your thoughts.
Of course he did. My first thought was, of course he did. Of course he did. These people are morons. Morons. The entire U.S. cybersecurity protection regime is designed for you to be safe, not easy. They were like, oh, well, screw it. I just want to be easy. I'm only the National Security Advisor to the United States. I'll sit here and start sending out emails, and Gmail's completely unsecured to agencies like NSA and the Russians and the Chinese, completely unsecure. Remember how I said right off the bat, from the minute they were nominated, they were targeted by major agencies that were going after their phones and their signal. Of course they saw they were using Gmail. The Russians and the Chinese know all about this. The Iranians know all about it. The Israelis know all about it. But we didn't know about it because we're dealing with people who are the most bigoted, selfish, racist masters of the universe that we will ever have to deal with. And you know what? They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care whether this
Malcolm,
damages the United States. So long as it makes Donald Trump money, our national security is just a slight inconvenience to them when they're out, making email requests or phone calls for Uber Eats and email requests, for I don't know, Amazon.com to see if their packages are delivered. And they're clicking on links that are going right to Moscow.
Yeah. Yeah. How about, could you even write that in your book, that the one guy was in Moscow that was on the Signal chat? I'm like, okay.
Yes.
I mean, I guess, I hate to say this, Malcolm, what I thought of yesterday is 9/11 happened despite massive security warnings, right? Despite very specific warnings. What scares the Jesus out is we won't get any warnings this time. Nobody's going to share intelligence with us, right? I mean, that happened.
Absolutely.
To me, that was massive incompetence on the Bush administration's part, that we had very specific warnings that were ignored. But what happens when we have no warnings, Malcolm?
I'm dead certain, and one of two things is going to happen here. And now that we're, if you guys go and read my latest Substack, you got a choice of where we're going to war, Greenland or Iran.
Yep.
Because the U.S. is moving loads of bombers out towards Iran. Do you think the only people who are going to share with us are the Israelis, right?
Yeah, and
the
maybe
Saudis,
not, because they were pissed about the signal thing. Israelis.
Yeah, well, actually, Israel is working with us on this strike against Iran,
Yeah.
which could happen in any time now.
Right.
But the key part is people who really know, all right, who may have intelligence, are going to be very careful about sharing with us. And if you give it to Donald Trump and Tulsi Gabbard, does that mean Moscow's going to have it? So you're going to see them give, New York Times, Guardian headlines level intelligence to the Trump administration. But real things like the name of their spies, missions that they have planned, activities, you're going to see that slowly taper off.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's always a happy ending with you. Love you, Malcolm Nance. You may. What do you get off the boat? It's not deplane. What is it when you
Disembark.
Disembark. You may disembark the vessel. Goodbye, sailor. See ya.